What's going on, Nomad Nation? It's your, it's a good morning. I probably had, you know, probably one of my best devotionals and quiet times when I had my, you know, just time with God this morning. As you see, we're on our prayer walk, and I just wanted to be able to get on here this morning and just kind of share with you guys. Sorry about that. Just kind of share with you guys kind of, a little bit of motivation and inspiration this morning. There's no need to feel like you're in a rush. No need to feel like you're in a competition with anybody. Everybody is running their own race, so if you feel like you got to compete with somebody, then it just means you're not in alignment with what you got going on and what your purpose is, what God has for you. Because what God has for you, no man can take away. No earthly being can take away. And you just got to really trust and believe that, And when you really trust and believe that you're being, pushed forward into your purpose by the universe and by God, when you start to realize that and you get out of your own way, the universe realizes that as well. And whatever hurdles and obstacles that you're facing, they'll kind of start to, not seem so challenging. I'm not going to say that they disappear, because that's not true, but they definitely don't seem as heavy. They don't seem as burdensome. And, you see what's on the other side, and it's a beautiful thing. You feel wiser, you feel more enlightened. You just really have, nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. It's nice and peaceful in the morning when I go for my walks. You get to a certain point in life, chaos, drama, turmoil, anybody that wants to, free themselves from that, I just would advise you to strengthen your relationship with God. Keep God first. Pray to Him. Pray for guidance. Pray for His leadership. Just pray in all the moments that you need, pray for Him to do what it is that you need Him to do in your life. Ask Him what it is that He wants you to do. And also ask Him how to do it, because you might not have an idea. You might have an idea, but you might not. And just in case if you don't, He'll show you the way. Be grateful, be thankful, and don't ever let anybody try to dim your light, because the enemy will try to dim your light. The enemy uses vessels just like I'm being used right now for the fruit of the Spirit, for God's light. I'm a vessel for God's team. The enemy has his own team, and he has his own vessels. Some you might realize, and some you might not. That doesn't matter. What does matter is you are protected by God, and you continue to thank Him for that, and you're grateful for that, and you don't allow anybody to try to rob you of your memory of that, because the enemy will try. He's going to try to use anybody who can get access to you. So just be mindful of that. You know what I mean? And I'm not here to say that you just got to cut everybody off. You'll be told by God when is the right time to do what it is that you need to do. I'm not saying somebody wrongs you one time, 2 times, and then you get rid of them. You have patience, because God is patient. You have love because God is love. You also have to be mindful of your purpose and your well-being at the same time. So I definitely take that serious, and I'm not trying to tell anybody what they should do with their life. I'm just saying what God has been revealing to me and what's been working for me. And I just think that this morning I just would like to pray for everybody who's coming across this video. Heavenly Father, I just want to pray for my my brothers and sisters that are tuning in and tapping into this video. For everybody who's returning to the page, I appreciate you for coming back. And for everybody who's this your first time, welcome. And I'm very thankful and grateful that we could connect. And I just want to pray for everybody's day, God. I want to pray that you would allow all of us to continue to keep you first in everything that we do. Every business endeavor, every idea, every thought, every motive, every intention, every action. I just really pray and ask that you would cover and protect us, God, in your loving and welcoming arms. I thank you for bringing us out of some dark times, because we all go through them. Thank you for never leaving us. Thank you for never betraying us. And thank you for all the ways that you've continued to provide for us and guide us and lead us. It's a dark world out there, but you shine a light, and you shine a light through us, and you shine a light for us. Thank you for Jesus, God, and for being able to allow us to have this relationship, that I can even come to you, that any of us can come to you, God, at any time. We can call on you and you answer. That's the thing about God. We don't need his phone number. We just need his name. His phone is never on low battery. He's never too busy. And nothing is too big, nothing is too small for him, And I just really do want to thank you again for all the different ways that you've allowed me to be able to experience this. I pray that my brothers and sisters that are listening in, that they experience this same joy and the peace and prosperity and the love that you have for us, the forgiveness that you have for us. And when it comes to forgiveness, I just want to really just shine a light on that everybody who's got things that they're experiencing in their own lives. If you feel like anybody's wronged you, if you feel like anybody's done anything out of spite towards you, out of hate towards you, don't return that hate, don't return that spite. Just love the people from a distance if you have to. Love them up close if that's something that you're able to do. But the answer is love. The answer isn't hate. Compound interest is a real thing, and that doesn't just go for the stock market. It's like hate produces more hate. Patience produces more patience. Love produces more love. And at a certain point in time, it's just like you gotta realize what it is that you're being tested with, what you're being confronted with, what is being allowed to help shape you and guide you. You know, it's not necessarily something that you asked for, but it's your calling and it's what you've got to do. And, you know, the word says that if you stay strong in those moments and when those tests come, that you're going to be blessed, you're going to be crowned with honor and life, and that honor and glory goes to God. But not only that, your perseverance is going to be made stronger, your spirit, and you're going to be made whole and complete. And that's an unshakable faith, and that's what the enemy doesn't want. The enemy knows what you have inside of you. The enemy knows what you're capable of, even if you don't know it yet. And maybe if you have an idea, but you're not quite sure, and there's a little worry or doubt, that's the enemy as well. He just wants to shake you. He wants to try to see if you'll, bend to, what he's trying to bring to your attention and not what God has for you, And I would be lying if I said that I just pass every test that comes my way, because I definitely don't. But that's neither here nor there. What happens in life is you grow to understand that, you came into this world solo, you're gonna leave solo. You meet, people that are important to you along the way. But as you grow older, you continue to lose people, whether it be natural causes, whether it be, relocations, or even fallouts, And so I say all that to say that, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what you got to go through. And everybody experiences this. But every time you level up, there's a new crowd that's waiting for you, a new community that's waiting for you, a new environment, atmosphere that's waiting for you. And, your next level doesn't always have to be a relocation. For many of us, it is. But it doesn't always mean that you're just going to a specific place. Sometimes that place is just your mindset. And not only that, but how do you go about treating these obstacles and these challenges when you're, given them? If your heart feels heavy, I just advise you to pray, because it's honestly the best cure for your body, for your mind. I'll attest to that, but there's no better feeling than being able to just spread positivity and good energy and spread the Lord's message. I'm really thankful and grateful that there's a band of warriors up there, shining a light on me, and God and His team are really looking after me. I get their signals every day. I get their signs every day. I receive their messages every day. And my heart, my mind, and my spirit, and my body weren't always in a position to accept and receive these things. But I had to clean my spirit in order for me to be able to receive these things. It's never an easy thing to do, because you gotta continue to evolve your mindset and grow and see how it is that you can do what He's calling you to do. But that's just the best thing that you can do, is seeing what it is that He has for you. Continue to look for Him in all things that you do. and God's going to be able to take care of the rest for you. I just want to continue to be able to be a shining light for those who don't necessarily know which way they need to go in life. God's going to provide that answer for you. And I think the best advice that I could probably give somebody is, just trust what God's doing, dive into His Word, and you'll learn a whole lot more than you probably ever did in school. You'll probably get the best advice you've ever received in your life. And I know it was right there for me, right under there, all the different times, you know what I mean? But you don't gotta worry about superstitions or anything like that when you know who it is that you're, who you're with, who you're working for, who you're being guided by. And, that's just kind of the whole point of life, I guess, is He gives us free will, but eventually He's going to make you experience things where you kind of need to get out of your own way. And you'll know when that point is. Sometimes people get the message sooner than others. But I think that with God, nothing is impossible. Nothing is too small, nothing is too big. No prayers are too small or too big. And you just got to continue to thrive with Him leading you, because He is going to lead you no matter how dark it may seem. No matter how dark it may seem, you're going to always be brought back to where you're supposed to be. And that's the message, is we're supposed to keep elevating. I'm out here walking, in my setting. And I just say this right now, 2 months ago, confirmation right there, but 3 months ago, 2 months ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, whatever, however long you want to take it back, I wouldn't have been comfortable to do this right now, speaking, recording myself in public, people probably looking at me like I'm crazy or weird, what is this guy doing? But it's not what I've come to care about. I don't really mind being viewed as an outsider or as an outlier if it means that I'm doing what God has called me to do. It's definitely not something that I intended on doing with my life. I didn't plan this. I realized that it was the purpose that God gave me. So I'm stepping into that. I'm owning that. The people that appreciate it and admire it, or just even respect it, or just don't have an opinion about it. There's no negative, no positive. It's just, oh, that's what he's doing now. Okay, cool. And they go about their way. That's cool too. You're going to always have people like that. You're going to have people that try to bring you down because they may know a past version of you. I just want to encourage those who deal with that, just to remind you that you're not your past, and nobody can keep you pinned to your past. If that was the case, then we would have never grown. When you first started going to school, you never would have kept elevating to that next grade, You wouldn't have graduated from primary elementary school to middle school to high school and to university or college, depending if that's the route that you went, right? So don't allow anybody to try to say that, you're this person and you got to stay that person. Every day you have a chance to make a choice. Every day you have a chance to make a choice, and it's about if you want to be willing to make those changes, you know. I've never been the one to try to be a hero. I've never been the one to try to be any of that stuff. I'm just doing what God called me to do. And those who think that you're switching up or you're all these different things, amen, that comes with the territory. And you just got to continue to do what it is that God's calling for you. I just want to really just encourage you, man. Encourage my brothers and sisters that are listening in. And if you made it this far through the video, I really appreciate you. It means we're like-minded. I was looking for a community, so I decided to kind of help create my own. Not that there aren't people that are still doing this kind of work. And, also making your own table that might not be space at other people's tables. So sometimes you just have to create your own table and go about your business that way, and let the chips fall where they may. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, because you're doing a positive thing and you're going to be blessed for that. You're doing something that's going to be a help to the world. You're trying to improve the world, because not too many people want to improve the world these days. And the world it can be a toxic place if you allow it to be, but you don't have to allow the world to be a toxic place at all. It's like I said, it's just a beautiful morning, man. It's a beautiful life. The sun is shining. I have breath in my lungs. And I couldn't thank the Creator anymore for this. If I wanted to be creative and I wanted to create content to help inspire you all to watch it myself and inspire myself, I wouldn't be able to just come up with ideas and what the words I need to say just on my own. Like, I have to be tapped in with the Creator in order to do that. I can't create without the Creator. He created all of this. He created me, he created you, he created the camera. He's taking care of everything. He's allowed everybody to get to the points in life. He's allowed the hardships in their life. He's allowed the blessings and miracles in our lives, the achievements in our lives. It's truly never about what you can do for yourself. It's never about how you can benefit yourself. It's never how you can advance yourself. It's always about how God is using you as a vessel. What is He teaching you in this moment? How can you encourage somebody else in their life? So I just really just want to share that with everybody. And I've been inspired. Like, there are people that I've watched and I've seen their pages, and those people know who they are. They know who they are. I make sure that I spread that positivity, because there's a lot of times in life we kind of take our own ideas from other people and we try to claim full credit for them. And whether that's happened to you or whether you've done it to somebody else, I'm not here to reprimand anybody for that. I'm just trying to make a point that we do that with God a lot, you know, and He doesn't ever treat us as our sins deserve. He never faults us for our shortcomings. And so really, honestly, the best thing that we can do is just to be grateful for Him, to be thankful for Him, and to try to do better in areas that we know that we can do better. And you'll know how you can do better because, I mean, if you're living and breathing on this earth, you know, God created you with a purpose. And as humans, we know if we're living in our purpose or not, and it'll show up. And we can try to ignore it all we want to, but that doesn't mean that we can't be better, and that doesn't mean that we know we should be doing better. And, you know, I just think you need to continue to be led by Him. Let Him lead you. Let Him guide you. You know, I would have never in a million years thought that I'd be doing what I'm doing right now at this very second. And that's because of God. That's because of Jesus. And I don't say that half-heartedly. I don't say that as a joke. Like, this is real life. There's a spiritual warfare going on out here. And if you're not aware of it, it will destroy you, because that's what the enemy wants. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. You know, that's what he wants. That's his goal. So if you allow him to do that, then he's going to do that. And if you don't, if you decide I'm going to have, you know, I'm going to have the mindset of looking to God, and I'm not going to allow anybody, I'm not going to allow anything to take me and veer me off my path of what I'm supposed to be doing with my life, to be a vessel and shine a light for God, then there's no need for me to even try to worry about whatever the enemy is throwing at me, because yes, there is evil in the world, there are troubles in the world, but God has overcame it all. And so if God cares for you, which we know He does, He's overcame it all, which means He just wants you to trust Him, and He'll show you exactly what you need to do, and thus you